Hey there, everybody. Welcome back to Soul Blazer. Today we're going to continue on, and I think we have to. Do we have to put out some magma after we refill our health there? But first, let's wander around, check out everything that we've unlocked. Oh, I think it will be more fun if you join us. I like where this is going. They're just moving back and forth. I guess we are defining the word dance very loosely nowadays. Was it Nana, Kana, and Anna? Anna, Kana, and Nana. We'll do a little more dancing, and then that's probably the best you'll ever see me dance. And it's important that they let me know the armor thing. Earlier there we got the frost armor, and that let us walk over those floors. So without knowing that, you might actually think that that's what you needed to do. It seems weird that the fish or the mammal underwater would have the thunder ring, because most of the time lightning is strong against water. In pretty much every RPG, including Pokemon, it ends up being a vital item now. It's very weird that she won't let you through, even though you came through from the other side. She says that you need to talk to the queen, but that doesn't really seem to be an issue if I'm standing on the other side. Yay! Ooh, the big pearl. Which is pretty much it. Monsters which fly and have a large amount of hit points. Those bird things that I've never had a problem really killing, and she gave me a spell for them. And you're going to see that there's not a whole lot of point to it. I don't know, I guess it's just me. I have a sort of issue with underwater areas. It just they've always kind of rubbed me the wrong way. I've never been a huge fan of them, so this place I'm not really a huge fan of. I mean, the only time I think I ever liked a quote-unquote underwater level was Final Fantasy 1, when you went to the sunken shrine and you had to get the slab and you had to beat the water elemental, and it was, if you've ever played that game, it was blue. It was hardly water. To be honest, it's kind of like this, where everything looks watery, but the water mechanic isn't really coming into play. But I think I'm at a point now where mentally I hear water level and it's just, oh god. I just basically check out. kind of wish there was a way to come back to those crystals. If you came from one of them to the town or whatever, that it left something so that you could step on it and come back to the crystal. This was a bit of a mix-up right here. I wasn't sure how the mermaid tear worked. I kind of figured if I equipped it and then just walked on lava, it would negate it. That clearly didn't happen, and that lava did a lot of damage. But we figure out how to use it really fast. So for right now, just put the shield bracelet back on. There we go, the top of the volcano. This seems like a good place for it. See, and the same problem. I had to just walk onto the lava, but it had to be there. Now that's cool lava. That'll give us access to a couple more monster layers that we need to advance. Yeah, when you use an item like that, don't forget to go back, put on your shield bracelet or your medical herb, whatever. And we got the critical sword. The critical sword, still not the sword that destroys metal that I'm expecting and still not actually sure exists. But the critical sword kind of does what it says. It randomly will critical attack. Which is good enough. It's overall it's just a stronger sword, and then with the random critical hits, it's definitely more powerful. Yeah, I keep expecting to get something that's going to destroy metal, whether it's a sword. I think they said earlier that you do get one, but every time I open up a chest, I'm just waiting for that to be it. Even though I'm expecting it to also kind of be a more dramatic thing where it's from a fight or something like that. But if you see right there, we got a sword that was just tucked away, so you had to, advance in the game to get it, but it was just in a chest. But to be fair, this seems like one of those weapons that you don't actually need to finish the game. It's just gonna make it a little easier for right now. That was the next mermaid statue, which is usually a good sign that it's time to go. We got all the monster layers that we can, so it's time to head back and see what she's gonna open up for us. Hey, so as I'm recording this, the news came out that that Nintendo is going to stop production on the Wii U systems. So how do you guys feel about that? Do you guys have a Wii U? Is that something that you just bypass? Figured you'd wait for a while and you're going to get it eventually? Or me personally, I love my Wii U. I wish it had more support. It always kind of it does kind of bug me that the best games are always the Nintendo IPs that we've been playing for years and years. And I know that there's a lot of great ideas that, third parties have that could probably succeed very well on Nintendo. Things like Little Big Planet, I know that was a first party IP, so that's not something that was going to come out on Nintendo, but that's the sort of idea that, Nintendo always has. These fun games that, maybe look a little juvenile from the outside, and maybe they are juvenile. Hey, level up. But I would love to see some new stuff. I think Splatoon showed everybody that fresh new IP is welcomed. That's something that was extremely well received, and that's something that was only possible on the Wii U with the gamepad the way it was, or it was probably possible without it, but you know, it definitely helped. It things like the gamepad gave everybody ideas. It's put everybody on paths to different directions, and that's a good thing. You know, that's a lot of people are always worried about stuff like that, where they don't, you know, too much change is exactly that. It's too much change. But I think the Wii U is a fantastic system, and I'm hoping for big things out of the NX. But you know, do you have your Wii U, and are you happy about it? You know, what do you think about the idea of lack of third-party support? Some people don't really care, you know, as long as the games that come out are fun, which is, I'm definitely in that camp, where as long as the games that come out are fun, I don't care who releases them. But I also can't deny that more third-party support means more games, you know, possibly different kinds of games. You know, so I'd love to see that. I want to see Nintendo be a competitor in with its next system. You know, it's obviously they're still a competitor. Nobody's saying that they're out of the game or anything like that, but you know, there's always the argument nowadays of Sony versus Microsoft, and then Nintendo's just sort of there. They are sort of a static presence, which is a great thing. You know, there are lots of companies out there that wish that they could get to that level where they are a household name and have been one for so long that there's just no question of their existence. You know, no one thinks Sony and Microsoft and says, does Nintendo still even make system like this? That's just a given. They have a system. They're out there. They're still a strong presence. They're so, in my opinion, one of the strongest presences. That sounds like a weird word. But you know, they are one of the strongest because there's no question of the quality. Even if people complain about the quality of the system, when their first party games come out, there's usually no question of their quality. You know, some of the games that have not been well received from you know, Zelda Skyward Sword and stuff like that, like, it's still a great game. If it was any other name, if it was any other company in any other game, it would be unbelievable. You know, the only reason they get ill received is because we're used to a certain quality from before then, and we just don't feel like they've lived up to it. You know, and then as time goes on, people always change their opinions. You know, people hated Twilight Princess, and then when Skyward Sword came out, they loved Twilight Princess and hated Skyward Sword. So eventually, when the next game comes out, you know, when Zelda U or Zelda NX, whatever it's going to be, comes out, there's a good chance that people are just going to hate on it and then talk about how great Skyward Sword was. Now that lightning ring, just at this point, we don't need it yet. But that was, you know, calls down lightning from the master, which is so cool. And what do you guys think about the NX? Are you excited? Are you just waiting to see more, or are you, if you didn't have a good experience with the Wii U, are you not even interested anymore? Are you just so blah with Nintendo at this point that whatever they do is pretty much irrelevant? You know, I don't know. Me personally, I'm still excited to see it, which I kind of hope that it is. They always use code names, so you know, a lot of people are just, you know, you're saying the NX, but it's probably going to be called something else. You know, me personally, I'm kind of hoping it's called the Nexus, so it's still NX, and then they can call it the Nexus Entertainment System, the NEX. You know, throwback to the old school. Kind of not paying attention here, so I'm getting the crap kicked out of me. But yeah, the Nintendo entertainment, I don't know, experience. Or just Nexus, NEX, short for Nexus. You know, I wouldn't mind something that was a huge throwback to the old systems. You know, I love the eShop, and I love being able to go and buy the old games. You know, the PSN network and all that. They're great ideas, but how great would it be to get the NEX and for them to say, hey, this is a throwback to old systems. So every first party Nintendo game comes built into the system. So you go out there and you buy your Nexus, you buy your NEX, and boom, you've got some of the best games on the system. Or at the very least, let me keep my games that I've already bought from the eShop. You know, I hated when they switched over and I had to go and rebuy these games, or you go and you have to pay to have so that it works on the Wii U menu instead of just the Wii. Because if anybody hasn't done that before, any game that was on the Wii's Virtual Console that is also on the Wii U Virtual Console, if you bought it on the Wii, the Wii U, the shop will know that you bought it, and what you can do is, instead of buying it again at full price, you just pay between $1 and $1.50 or $2, I think it is, and it will be available on the Wii U's menu. Otherwise, you have to open the Wii menu that comes on the system, and then from there you can play it. It's one extra step, but it is kind of a pain. Plus, you can't use the gamepad unless you transfer it over to the Wii U, which I thought was kind of clever, but at the same time, here I am paying for my games again. Oh, and here we go. I figured out how to kill these guys. That is satisfying. I'm kind of wondering if I should go back through the old levels that had enemies that I couldn't kill, and see, maybe that's what I have to do. Maybe that's something that I can do ahead of time to kill some of those metal enemies and open up some early things. I love going backwards when I'm not, or going back to where I'm not supposed to. Get the shield bracelet back on, but for right now we're going to head back to the town, and next time we will talk to the last mermaid statue. See, the master will send down lightning. So, you guys have a good day.